Hey everybody, happy Friday, TGIF, right? Hey cool gamer, how you doing? So I realized that over here in this sector, um, we have more entertaining um conversations that we talk about. Everybody's with the rah 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 right now. But I want to come on and talk about Kanye West. Hey allegedly, how you doing? If you guys watched my live stream from last night, you heard me talking about hey Nissa, hey peaceful lady. Thank you guys for joining me. You could have been anywhere else, right? So if you were in my live last night, you heard me speaking about I wanted to get back to doing some of my uh, different types of content that I used to do. I haven't done it in a while. But we also on that live stream last night talked a little about Kanye West because I had mentioned that I want to come back. Hey Kim and do thank you Kim. Come back and want to, have the conversation about Kanye West, right? And so we were kind of talking about it last night. Hey PDP, thank God you showed up. I wasn't alive. You showed up and I was looking for something. Thank you, PDP. And so yeah, that I just don't understand. You missed a live. But yeah, we're gonna talk about it. So like I said, I had mentioned that I want to come back and do a live and speak about the Kanye West situation. I'm sure a lot of us have been seeing bits and pieces of what's going on. But I've been doing, a little research on the conversation or whatever. And I want to mention last night, hey Tanya, that I want to come back and talk about it, right? So that's what I'm doing tonight. But we were talking a little bit about it last night, but we were talking about other stuff as well. Thank Nessa. Thank you, Nessa. And so I want to come back when nobody's, up, on the panel but me and I can kind of focus, right? And so because it's a very important conversation because in my opinion, there is uh a via media a type of lynching of this black man going on, right? And so we know that, in case you guys didn't know, I'm sure everybody in the world knows by now. So Kanye West was on Drink Champs, a show here on YouTube on Revolt TV, right? And so he was on there and he was speaking he said a lot of anti-Semitic comments. He made a lot of anti-Semitic commentary, about Jewish peoples. And ever since he made those comments, pretty much he has lost. He went from um being a $2 billion man to a $400 million man, right? So he's lost many endorsements. He didn't think that he would be. He didn't think that Adidas would drop him. Because they manufacture the Yeezys for him or whatever. He's got a deal. Had a deal with them to manufacture his sneaker Yeezy, and they lost. I think they said over $200 million by discontinuing the shoe or whatever. They lost brain cells. And so, yeah, Kim, I agree, right? And so, but the things that he said, they were they were very raggedy. They were very ill thought out. I feel like Kanye felt like or even still feels like um that he can say what he wants, right? Now we live in the United States of America, and we know that they tell us via the Constitution of the United States of America that we have freedom of speech, right? But didn't Kanye realize, or doesn't he, hadn't he, because he's had many run-ins with media and some of the things that he said, right? We remember a couple of incidents, like he got what he said about George Bush during Hurricane Katrina, right? And remember what he said, and so he got a backlash because of that. Remember what he said about was it Taylor Swift winning an award at the GMAs, and him snatching it from her and saying it belonged to Beyonce. He got in trouble about that, right? So we know that a couple of years ago, was it 2018, when he made that statement about slavery being a choice, right? He said that, he's a black man in America, and he said that slavery was a choice. Now, I find it very interesting when it comes to that statement. He made that statement on TMZ, right? And so when he made that statement about slavery being a choice, he didn't lose any brand endorsements, or any type of sponsorships, or anything of that nature, right? Nothing happened to him. People talked about it for a little quick minute. The media made us spoke about it once, but then that was it. That was all right. But what we didn't know in 2018 was that during that same interview on TMZ, there is a guy that used to work for TMZ by the name of Van Lathan, right? And yeah, he didn't lose not one single solitary thing. You're right about that, PDP. So also on the interview with TMZ, where he made the slavery was a choice comment, he also said some anti-Semitic things during that via that interview, right? Now, mind you, this was in 2018, right? So Van Lathan, what used to work for TMZ, was speaking about the anti-Semitic comments that he made in 2018, right? And he said he spoke out about it, but nobody really picked up on it or anything, right? And there's a reason for that, right? And we're going to talk about it. So he made those comments at 28 in 2018. TMZ, took edited those anti-Semitic comments out of their interview, right? But we know that when they took those comments out of the interview, um, that it was for a reason, right? We know that when it comes to the system and black people, especially black entertainers, whether they be sports stars or politicians, or black people with a voice, right? um the way that they control some of these people, I'm not going to say all of them because I don't know, and I'm going to say allegedly, let me just say allegedly, I have heard, let me say it that way, right, that allegedly the way that they control a lot of these black peoples with a voice is because of things that they keep secret, right? You would do something, like takes for instance Bill Cosby, right? They say for decades, Bill Cosby, it was known forever, in those circles that, Bill Cosby allegedly, and he went to prison for it. So I don't even know if I have to say allegedly or not, but allegedly he liked to drug women, and pretty much have his way with them, right? We know that he was convicted of that crime, and he served time in prison for it. He just got sued here recently by a woman that said that she was 17 years old when she worked in the Playboy Mansion, and she was with Bill Cosby. Now I was confused by that because I'm thinking, okay, so if you were at the Playboy Mansion and you was with Bill Cosby, whose fault was that really? Was it the mansion's fault, or was it Bill Cosby's fault? Because if you were working for the Playboy Mansion, if you are a Playboy bunny in the mansion and you're underage, you're 17 years old, wouldn't they be liable for that? Because if Bill is just going there to have a little fun, um, would it stand to reason that he is under the belief that everybody there in that mansion working for what's his name? I can't think of his name right there, would be of age, right? And so I didn't understand, but she won that lawsuit. She won the lawsuit, but I didn't hear her suing. I can't think of the guy's name, the owner of the Playboy Mansion. What was his name? I didn't hear of her suing the Playboy Mansion estate, right? Was it Howard Hughes? What is it? What is his name? I can't think of his name right there. You know, Hugh Hefner. Thank you, thank you, PDP. I didn't hear of her suing Hugh Hefner's estate, right? And so I was confused by that. But But like I said, she sued Bill Cosby. This is after he got out of prison, and she won the lawsuit, right? No mention of her suing Hugh Hefner, and she was supposed to be working at the Playboy Mansion, and she was 17 years old. Like, I was confused by that. Didn't make sense, right? But we know when it comes to people that control Hollywood and these entertainers and stuff, especially if you are a person, a black in America, and you have a voice. Like I said, they control you by keeping your secrets, right? And so if this went on for decades, why is it, I find it strange that after Bill Cosby attempted and there had been rumors circulating about it forever, right? But it wasn't until after he tried to buy a major media outlet that they me too'd him, right? And because of that, he served time in prison. All these women came out about him, and all of this and all that, right? And so, right, Tiffany, we were talking about it last night, right? You ever die before all the scales? Yep, I absolutely agree with that, Brain says. But I find it interesting because even though now we know that Bill Cosby in his younger days, when he was a young Bill Cosby, he fought for our civil and human rights. He had a very loud voice when it came to the conversation of black people and their civil and human rights, right? And so we know that because of that, there's speculation that allegedly one of his oldest son, I think was it Ennis Cosby, was that his name, may have not actually drowned, that he may have been unalived, because hey Paulette, because and hey Tiffany, hey Herb Water Sniper, everybody that came in, thank you guys so much for joining me. You could be anywhere else, right? And so, but it was speculated that that Ennis didn't drown, that he may have been offed because of his father's stance in regards to black people and the way that we were treated back then and still are treated now in this United States of America, right? So there's speculation behind that. Petey said you might remember some girl extorting him while the Cosby Show was still on. Is that PDP? Now I didn't know about that, but I knew that he had been sued several times because there were several deposition tapes and stuff that came out about these women suing him, in regards to him drugging them and all of this and all that, right? But the issue is, and this was here inside of the road, change it to so which one of them? So if Ennis was killed on the side of the road, was it the other son that allegedly drowned? And so it wasn't Ennis, it was the other son. Cause I know there was another son that lost his life too. I forgot about. Okay, so yeah, thanks for telling me that allegedly. So it was the other son that they were speaking about then. Oh wow. I didn't even think about that. But anyway, the point I'm making with the Bill Cosby situation is that they will hold these secrets over these entertainers, these athletes, these politicians, these black people of color. If you've done something, raggedy, they might not use it against you at the time, but you best believe um he only had one son. Are you sure? Because I thought he had. Well, now see, I thought it was Ennis, but then I thought it was another son that drank. Maybe I'm speaking of somebody else's son. Child, I don't know. Thank you, allegedly, for keeping me on the right track. Because I thought he had a son that um drowned, but people were speculating that yeah, Gene, we gonna get to that, right? And so anyway, the reason why I told that story, but thank you allegedly. I swear I thought he had more than one son. I don't know. It's so much info that I get mixed up. But the reason why I'm talking about it at all, um, talking about Bill Cosby, I really was just trying to use him as an example of how these moguls, these higher ups, these people in power in high places will hold something over these entertainers, and like I said, and politicians and athletes, especially if you are black in America. Only one, thank you, Bacon. And you have a voice, right? They will hold something, over you, and so that when the time comes, like if you have the nerve to start speaking out about what's being done, to your people, maybe Water Sniper, I don't know, I don't know. So it was two kids, but one boy and one girl. Thank you, Lost Brain. But I was just using it as an example. I just veered off to the right with the kids. I wanted the example was how they knew about what Bill Cosby was doing, for decades. And it wasn't until he tried to buy NBC, I believe, that they put forth this info out to the world. It was on every news outlet, and they pretty much lynched him as well, right? But it's not because they were outraged. Um, it's not because they were outraged by what he had been doing, the drugging of the women, allegedly drugging of the women and stuff. They were, outraged or maybe even a little afraid that he had the gall to want to buy NBC, right? So they used that secret to pretty knock him to pretty knock him out the off the playing field, off the chessboard. They just knocked this piece right off the chessboard, because they had held this secret on him, this secret, not so secret, for so many years, right? So they used it at a very opportune time, right? So that is what I meant by talking about the Bill Cosby thing. It was an example, right? So um over the years, we getting back to Kanye, right? So over the years, well, no, like let me get back to 2018 interview, and I used the Bill Cosby thing also as an example because in 2018, like I said, at the time he made the slavery was a choice comment, he also made anti-Semitic comments in that same interview. They clipped the anti-Semitic comments out of the interview that he did with TMZ. But like I said, you best believe they had it in a vault somewhere, and they was, planning to, hold it over his head for future use, right? So, fast forward to was it last week, a week before last? He goes on Drink Champs. He makes all these anti-Semitic comments. Um, you know, and he later goes on to say that he felt like, hey, Bayou Bunny, hey, everybody. He felt like he said all of that stuff because he meant, and he said, and that they also said he said that he feels like that certain group of people own everything, right? Meaning they have all types of power, right? So he said that, and so but he didn't apologize, for what he said, because when it happened to when they said that Nick Cannon had made anti-Semitic comments, he apologized, and all of this and all of that, and so yeah, but Nick Cannon ain't no Kanye West, right? So that happened, but that got me to thinking. So, would you have not would the press not have said anything yet at all um about what Kanye West said in 2018, had he um not said it, like on social media, right? Because once we know we live in the entertainment, I mean the internet era, right? Nothing is a secret anymore, right? And so they not taking his apology. I didn't think that he was making one. I hope that he doesn't even make one, right? And I'm gonna tell you why, right? And so he made that on the internet show. You can't take it back, you can't hide it, um, and all of this and all of that, right? And so it's out there for the world to hear. But he did it in 28. He said it in 2018. They said it. He said it in certain other settings, right? But nothing ever came out until now to where he said it and it couldn't be taken back, right? And he said it just days after he premiered those White Lives Matter T-shirts. Him and Candace Owen, and that was very controversial. But we know that when it comes to Kanye, they call him a free thinker, and and he, it's just So here are the t-shirts. I know y'all saw them, right? So him and Candace was sporting these t-shirts, and really want people to, buy the t-shirts and all of this and all. Now, why he would, now we know that when it comes to the slogan White Lives Matter, they did that in response to the Black Lives Matter campaign, and everything. And and yes, in the broader scope of things, all lives matter. But when it comes to black people, our black lives have to matter first. Simply because it is our people. Now we all know, y'all don't be shocked that I said that, but we all know that I am pro-black, and Black Lives Matter first to me. Right? That we know that in the grander scope of things, all lives really do matter, but our Black lives need to come first when it comes to Black people. So it's very confusing, or even not even confusing at all when you see Kanye West with this White Lives Matter T-shirt on, and we absolutely wasn't shocked by Candace Owen wearing this White Lives Matter T-shirt, right? So we know Kanye over the years, like I said, has said a whole lot of inflammatory things. I think that sometimes he says this stuff, to get a reaction out of people, right? I think he thrives on that sort of thing, right? And that's why I asked the question in the title of the video: does he finally realize that freedom of speech ain't free, right? Because at the end of the day, whether you have $2 million, $2 billion, or $400 million, or $5, right? At the end of the day, when it comes to the system of white supremacy racism, you are still a black man in America. It don't matter whether you endorse Donald Trump or Louis Farrakhan. Okay? At the end of the day, you still a black man in America. You are still with this melanated skin. You are black all around the world, right? Do y'all remember years ago when Oprah was in like Norway or somewhere like that? Anyway, she wanted to go in a high end, one of these high end boutiques, and they wouldn't let her in the high end boutique. They didn't know that she was, Oprah Winfrey, so they wouldn't let her in that boutique. Now you got, this is Oprah Winfrey, million dollar baby Oprah Winfrey. They wouldn't let her black self in that high end boutique, right? It was like Norway or somewhere. She wanted to go buy a handbag or something, but they wouldn't let her in. They didn't know who she was, you know. And so they wouldn't let her in the store, right? Now this is Oprah Winfrey, right? She came out and she publicly spoke about that. Like she was shocked that how dare they not know that I am Oprah Winfrey? How dare they not let me in the store? Do they know who I am? No, girl, they didn't know who you was, but they knew you was black, and they knew they wouldn't let you in their high end store. Okay, so um, but I guess I think that sometimes these black celebrities, you remember Bacon, forget, when it comes to their skin, no matter, like I said, how much celebrity or money they have, no matter who their friends are, if you are black in this world, if you are melanated, should I say, in this world, you're always gonna be seen as less than. Now we that don't have a complex about the color of our skin, or or our people, we, those of us that are proud to be melanated, proud to be black, we know that we are not second class in we are no we know that we are not second class to anybody or anything, right? We know that um we are God's chosen people, because our melanated selves we never had to evolve into being a fully formed human being. We was born this way, right? So anyway, was it Switzerland? Okay, yeah, I said Norway. Thank you, Tiffany. I knew it was one of those places. They didn't know who Oprah Winfrey was, right? They just know she was black, and they didn't let her in the high end store, right? So we know that we are not second class anything, but the world wants us to think that we are second class, for whatever reason. We won't delve into that right now. And so, like I said, were we really shocked when we seen Kanye and Candace Owens sporting these White Lives Matter shirts? Like I said, he's very, he likes to get a rise out of people. So and Candace does as well. So no, we really weren't shocked at the end of the day. I wasn't. anyway. But at this point in time in America, now we know that we shouldn't even be shocked, well, with Kanye doing this, even via the current times, via what's going on to black people in particular here in the United States of America. We know that we are in the midst of a recession, but when it comes to a lot of black people, we have always been in a recession, right? And we know that as melanated people, we know how to survive, whether it's a recession or whatever else situation. Our ancestors survived slavery, right? Our ancestors survived having their whole identity stolen away from them, right? And so, and we are still dealing with that trauma, the trauma from chattel slavery, even to this day. But our ancestors still survived. Had they not survived, we wouldn't be here, today, right? We would have been wiped, from the planet, right? And so via that type of slavery, via how barbaric chattel slavery was, how barbaric our people were treated, right? And so turn your live chat on. Google is filtering comment. Oh, is this filtering my comments? Like, nobody's really said anything to be filtered, but child, you know how folks is. But anyway, back to Kanye. So after he premiered these shirts, he said the comment, right? So I got to thinking, because Kwani asked me a question last night when she was up on the panel. She was like, do you feel that Kanye West is a genius? Because, we know that Kanye always done said that he is a genius, right? I don't think necessarily that he's a genius, in my opinion. I think that he is a very artistic person. I think that he does have a degree of mental illness. Um, I think he's exhibited that a lot of the times. But I also think that he has a voice, a very strong voice. Whether he has mental illness or not, he is still Kanye West. He is very outspoken. We know that, and for that reason, we love people that are we tend to love people that are very not antagonistic is not the word, outspoken, for lack of a better word, right? We love that type of personality, right? So Kanye, no matter what he says, is still going to have a following, right? And these people that are, in my opinion, trying to do what it is that they are doing via taking his brand endorsements away from him, and making him lose billions of dollars pretty much overnight. They took away his banking account from J.P. Morgan Chase, and they're pretty much dragging him through these mass media streets, right? And so you got to ask yourself, did he say, did he make these comments? And he's made them before. Oh, and I also found out that he tried to go on a couple of other shows, and they wouldn't let the interview air. They said he came on to that HBO show with LeBron James, and whatever he said in that interview, um the lawyers or entertainment lawyers, or the people that go over the interviews, because they go over these interviews with a fine tooth comb. They found that the interview, for whatever he said, too inflammatory, and it never aired, right? So he went there to speak with LeBron. That interview never aired, and they said he also, where was else did he go? He was on another show, and they didn't let the interview air either, right? Because his commentary was too inflammatory. But you go over here to Revolt TV on Drink Champs, and if you see his face, if you watch that interview, he was tipsy. You know what I mean? And but like I said, he's made these comments before, right? Wasn't anything new, right? And but those a couple of people wouldn't even let the interviews air because they were so inflammatory, right? Because of the anti-Semitic comments that he made, and he did make those comments, right? It came out of his mouth. Um, and you have to be. He has to take accountability for that. For whatever reason he made those comments, he still made the comments at the end of the day, right? So should he be? Do I feel like? Do I feel like he should be dragged through these media streets the way that he is being dragged and vilified via the media for these comments that he made? Do I feel like should be vilified to this degree? No, I don't. Because Kanye there have been people like Jeffrey Epstein and Harvey Weinstein and several other people that have been convicted of horrific crimes, right? Horrific crimes, right? And they have never tried to take away their money, because we know that money is power, right? Money is power. So he lost $2 million. He went from being a $2 million man to a $400 million man, right? So they're wanting to take away his ability to have any type of power, right? But they can't take away his voice, right? So but I'm thinking, okay, so it's crazy Kanye talking, still thinking he can say what he want to say, you know what I mean? Not giving a care about the repercussions at the time, and all of this and all that, right? But I was listening to a little snippet of Russell Simmons, and he had did the little video. I think it was an Instagram video or something like that, and he was talking to Kanye. He said he hadn't talked to Kanye in months, and he changed his number. He frequently changes his number. Jewish community because it's still, yeah, and pretty much on, yeah, that's pretty much what he said, Jean Grey, right? That's what he said. I don't think that he was trying to be malicious. I don't think that he was trying to be incite any violence towards anybody or anything like that. I think that but his words were in fact anti-Semitic. His phrases, some of his phrases anyway, but overall, that is what he meant, right? And Kanye got them out there. And that ain't the first time. Like I said, Sheba, Russell Simmons came on and did a video for Kanye. And I'm glad you said that, Sheba, right? And you too, Gene. Um, he's like, well, yeah, he's lost even more endorsements. He's down to 130 million now. Wow. But you know what, Angie? If Kanye was smart, he would take Russell Simmons' advice. Let me tell you what Russell Simmons said, and I absolutely agree with him, right? Now, Russell Simmons, he made the Instagram video, like I said, and now Adidas is suing him. Suing him for what? Because they cut ties with him. Oh, I guess they're gonna try to say, I guess he breached their morality clause or something like that, or whatever, right? Even if Kanye loses every single last dollar, Kanye West still has the ability to make money. He still has a voice. He is a icon, right? So for that reason, he still has the ability to make money. The only thing is, and they know that he is still a money maker, you know, and he's still, because he has a voice, somebody is still going to back him. Now, let me tell you what I mean by that. Let me roll it back, right? So, and Adidas, really the reason why Kanye felt like Adidas wasn't gonna cut ties with him wasn't only because of the amount of money that they were making off of those shoes, is because it was found out that Adidas during the time of during the World War II, the Adidas, the parent company of Adidas, they manufactured items for the Nazis. Right now, I can't remember. I couldn't even remember last night. I heard it, but I can't remember what they manufactured for the Nazis. But they manufactured items for the Nazis, right? And of course, Adidas is a German. I should say allegedly, but I did hear that a German based corporation, right? But they said the parent company during World War II manufactured items for allegedly the Nazis, right? So maybe that's why Kanye felt like they wouldn't, cut ties with him or whatever. I don't know, right? They are making an example out of him, absolutely, and sending out a message to us, right? That is what they're hoping to do, right? And so breach of contract on morality and something else that goes against the contract. Okay, Sheba, yeah, I'm not surprised by that at all. Of course they would do that, right? But that's okay, because in one reason why he's gonna be getting other lawsuits, in my opinion, as well. Because they want to make it to where that he will never be able to make another shoe or manufacture another shoe or sell another shirt or outfit or make any more music or anything at all, right? And they want to make him, like, if they can't sue him forever if he already down, um if he's already down, Miss O, he's been getting 220 million from Adidas since 2016. That's 2 billion alone. Plus his music and other business. He's still a billionaire. Don't trust Forbes. They don't want. But did you are absolutely right, Jane. I absolutely believe he has more than $400 million or $130 million. You know. And so yeah, I'm trying to get back to Russell Simmons says, right. And so that's the family Adidas and his brother. Boom. Oh wow. Oh wow. And so anyway, let me tell y'all, let me get back to Russell, right? So Russell made the Instagram post and he made a lot of sense. I was really feeling what he said, and I hope that Kanye saw that post, right? It was so empowering. And I don't even know if Kanye would have the confidence to do what Russell Simmons suggested. But when I was listening to Russell Simmons' words and what he was telling Kanye he should do or he could do, I'm thinking, when you get older, like when you young, when Russell Simmons, was garnering his generational wealth, he was young and he probably really wasn't thinking about, in his community in the context that he's thinking about it now, right? Because the way that he was speaking about his community and Kanye building within his own community, that is power, right? That is how you build power, right? Every other race of human being, race or ethnicity, color or creed, right, is pro black, their own community of people first, right? It is only us black people that don't believe that we can empower ourselves via our own community. And we know that there are a lot of reasons for that. We know that historically, we have had whole towns blown up by bombs because we were economically on the rise. And I'm talking about a Black Wall Street, and not only Black Wall Street. There were several communities, back in those days during the Jim Crow era, after Reconstruction. We're during the Reconstruction era. A lot of our people were out of slavery, and and we were pulling ourselves up by the bootstraps, and we were, our communities were doing, our own communities were doing wonderfully. We were making, business amongst ourselves. Our black dollars were circulating in our own communities, and because of that, our communities were flourishing. Right, they were flourishing and growing. We had start building our own schools, our own colleges, our own hospitals, our own everything, hotels, supermarkets, clothing stores, grain and feed stores, just anything you can imagine. That those dollars were flowing through those black communities, because they only had themselves to trade with. Because mind you, this is during Reconstruction, and on into the Jim Crow era, right? So we really didn't have anybody, or I'm sure there were some Anglos that did business in the black communities, but for the most part, our dollars were circulating in our own communities because our communities had to build themselves up from the ground up. Yeah, banks, hospitals, everything, just everything, you name it, our people were doing it, right? And so we knew that we didn't have anybody to take care of us but us. So we didn't have a choice but to band together and build up our own communities, right? So because of that, those people saw that because money is power, community is power. A family unit is power. Many family units together in one community, that's almost an unstoppable force, right? Because like I said, every other ethnicity of people knows this, right? And so, but we were doing it. We were doing it. Done it a couple of times. During the Red Summer, um, even after Tulsa and even during Jim Crow era, our people were still trying to build, right? Still trying to keep our own communities afloat, right? Even though you had things had many red summers, right? You had, these people come in and give our ancestors and elders 24 hours to get off their own land or they would be killed. And that land was stolen away from them, right? 24 hours to get out of. That's right. Unity is power. 24 hours to leave this town. Or you're going to be killed. And so you just would have time enough to pick up what you could, put in your carriage or put in your car or carry with you on your back and try to get away. Leave your land, leave everything that you own, and flee in hopes that you could stay alive, right? So it would stand to reason that after this keeps being done decade after decade, year after year, trauma. You would not only would you start to have trauma, what Dr. Joy DeGruy calls post-traumatic slave syndrome. Not only would you be dealing with that type of PTSD, you will be down dealing with the trauma of having to pick up and run for your life and leave behind everything that you worked so hard for, right? You've got that type of trauma. And when that happens to a community over and over again, every time you build it up, they knock it down. It's like you're building a sandcastle, right? You at the beach, and a bunch of you kids are building sand castles. But you always got that one little boy, that one little bully boy that's gonna come through and kick that you build after you proud of your sandcastle, you done built it up, you done put a little motor around your sandcastle, you done built it up the way you want it. That one little bully boy is gonna come by there and smash your sandcastle, right? And you're gonna be so hurt. You're gonna go crying to mama. Your mama gonna say start all over again, but you're gonna be hurt because you really liked your sandcastle and you don't want to start all over again. You just want your sandcastle the way that you had it at first, right? So that has kind of brought us to where we are today, to where we not only trust each other whenever any of us starts to garner any type of generational wealth or build yourself up to the went to school maybe and you having a good paycheck. First thing you do is what? Move yourself out of your own community. And when you move yourself out of your own community that's already struggling, that's taking more black dollars, even more dollars in general out of your own community. So your community can't be upwardly mobile, right? But this happened to us over and over again, even to this day. Even though our communities are almost broken beyond repair, they still want. What is the agenda? The agenda still is to keep us impoverished, keep us incarcerated, or keep us dead. Okay? Because we know that Satan wants to do what? Steal, kill, and destroy God's children, right at the end of the day. So, like I said, even to this day, it's still the same agenda: incarceration, death, poverty, right? Even to this day. Yeah, a few get out, they get out, and they don't look back, right? Because it's too much trauma if you go to looking back. And then you got a lot of people, a lot of black people, not even trusting black people because we know another tool in the toolbox is to divide and conquer, right? So, but that divide and conquer tool, that is a powerful tool, right? Not only is it used amongst our own people, it is used between black peoples, melanated peoples, and Jewish people, right? And the reason why that tool is set to divide and conquer when it comes to black people and Jewish people, that is because, and Russell talked about it on the Instagram thing, but they want to keep us divided because we have a common foe. And our common enemy is the system of white supremacy racism. Just like that system doesn't see any value in us, that system doesn't see any value in them either. It's only the Jewish people. They knew that they had to stand strong, especially after World War II, and build their wealth. They build a powerhouse. Build a whole system of power. So because that power shields them from something like a Auschwitz, a Hitler coming up against them and kick and gassing millions and millions of them, right? So they knew they had to garner enough wealth that it would garner power, right? And so now they are pretty much an unstoppable force because they knew what they had to do because they didn't want to have to deal with another Holocaust, right? Now it's unfortunate that we have so many stumbling blocks as melanated people in this country that even if we wanted to build up that kind of wealth, to build up that kind of power, they will come through and drop a bomb on you if they have to, or you will find yourself, sleeping with the fishes, so to speak, even if they have to do that, all in an effort to make sure that could never happen to your melanated community in this country, right? And so, getting back to that, I know I've veered off course, y'all. I'm sorry. I know I'll just stray away, right? And so, I liked what Russell Simmons said in his Instagram interview. Pretty much, he was telling Kanye, "You lost all of these distributors. You've lost all of these endorsements and stuff. But hey, man, it's okay because now you're free, right? Even down to the point to where he did that they had that recording of him saying that anti-Semitic stuff with TMZ and everywhere else. So he's done said it himself out, to the world out of his own mouth. They can't even hold that over his head, right? So Russell Simmons said, "Black man, you free. Now why don't you go out and rebuild in your own community?" Right? And like I said, when it came to him saying it, I said, when it comes to Russell Simmons, I'm sure it's unfortunate that he didn't have that mindset when he was younger, right? When he was garnering his generational wealth, right? But he has it now. And he wants to pass that message on to Kanye. They can't hold nothing over your head. Now, man, you still got people because money is money at the end of the day, right? And as long as Kanye West is alive, as long as he's still alive, even after he's dead, he's probably worth more dead, especially right now. And maybe that's why Charlemagne the God had the nerve to get up there and say that Kanye West seemed like he might be suicidal. Why in the world are you speaking death over that man? But Russell Simmons was speaking life, was trying to speak life into him, right? He said, "You free now. Go out and rebuild this. You can find yourself a manufacturer. If you can't find yourself a manufacturer, I say this: build your own manufacturing plant in your own community, right? Hire your own workers, your own people to work for you. We know that black people are very loyal. Can you imagine um Kanye West coming into say his own wasn't he born in Chicago or somewhere, building up his empire in Chicago from the ground up, not needing any of these companies to endorse him for anything. He has the ability to even because of the internet, he can even sell his own music now directly. We see what Master P did. He built his own empire. Master P did. He sold his own. He had his own. Distributed his and manufactured his own records. Do you see what I'm saying? And so, can you imagine? And that's what Russell was telling him to do. You don't need any of these people build your own empire from the ground up in your own community, and hire your own people, to work for you, to help you build this empire. Can you imagine how that would look if he went into his like own community? Yeah, I was like, wow, that was powerful to me. But it's an advantage for him to act broke, cause right, he won't get touched by all the lawsuits and yeah, you're right about that, Gene. You're right. But Russell told him, he gave him a wonderful piece of advice. He said, you free, right? Go build it back up again, but do it in your own community with your own people, right? But my thing is, does he have enough confidence in his, not only himself, but also his own people to do that sort of thing? Can you imagine how that would look? That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Would they would something befall him, an unfortunate incident, concerning his life befall him possibly? You already got his own people wishing death on him, you know. And so, Lord is Russell if he could, but yeah, but unfortunately, yeah, I don't think he would. But can you imagine how that would look? Wow, that would be freaking awesome. But then I got to thinking, Bella, that we know that Kanye at times he's kept piss crazy, because he is, right? Dave Chappelle, another loyal friend to Kanye as well. And I'm hoping he is in his ear at this. I hope so, right? I hope so. Sheba, cause shoot, Dave broke free and moved to Africa. Child. So oh, y'all made me lose. I don't need to read the chat. I'm just trying to get this out, y'all, first. Because I really had this on my mind. We know that at times Kanye appears to be catfish crazy, right? But what if Kanye is crazy? What if, in an alternate universe, Kanye West is crazy like a fox, right? What if he didn't have all this animosity towards his own people and a whole bunch of other people? Because if he didn't, but he's a black man in America, and he a black man in America. I think this says a lot, right? So, like I said, what if he was, being crazy like a fox, right? What if in an alternate universe he wanted to break himself free? So how do you break yourself free? You got these people handling you. You got these people holding your anti-Semitic comments in a vault, using them to control you. The way that you move, what you say. Holding it over your head. Hoping that you're going to be so afraid of this type of thing coming out, and so afraid of losing everything that you would get in line and you will play follow the leader, right? And so, what if he's crazy like a fox and he wanted to break free of all of that? He wanted to break free of them, that hold that they had over him via some of his past commentary. What if he wanted to break free of all those endorsements, from people like Adidas and shoot, they even said the dollar store that parted ways with him in Target and places like that. I was like, I was like, wait, what? Everybody getting in on it, right? And so, but what if he was wanting to break free for all of that and become truly free and do it all by himself? Because he had in this day and age, it is absolutely possible for him to do it all by himself with his own people in his own community. So what if in an alternate universe, that is what Kanye West want to do? Unfortunately, I don't really think that he has the confidence to do that, or even if that was his intention. But like I said, what if in some alternate universe that is what the plan was? That was the master plan that he had, right? Do you realize how ingenious that would be? I'm just wondering how long he would be on this side of the dirt before they offed his butt. if he was trying to pull out something like that. That's what I wonder. It would be fascinating. But yeah, that was just something I think about. What if he was crazy like a fox and this was all a plan for him to get out from up under these gatekeepers' thumb. Hey Seven, hey everybody that came in, you know. But unfortunately, I kind of don't think that's what's going on. But just think about the impact that that he could make, with his own people. That is the reason why I liked, what Russell Simmons had the words of encouragement that he spoke to Kanye. But I also agree with Russell when I say that I don't think that he has hate in his heart for these people. You know, I'm hoping that he has a plan, Angie. Like I really do. I really do. And I hope that plan has to do with his own people, you know. Now that Elon Musk owns Twitter and that Ye friend him and Trump will be talking of the what, Gene? I heard Elon Musk that went on and bought Twitter, and you saying Ye friends with Trump. I don't I'm confused. I got lost in translation, but yeah, he has a plan. But he got to be careful. I agree with that, Angie. I hope he does. It, Jane. I'm serious. He should see it's not even worth it. What she would say up here. But anyway, that is what I was thinking about. What if he got some kind of master plan? Wouldn't that be something, child? Mm-mm. The only thing I wish Kanye would do is stop saying he running for president. Child, I seen he on YouTube, and he's been doing a YouTube live for several years in the title of it for several hours. I'm sorry, and he said he's going to tell the truth about Balenciaga or something like that, right? And he's on there talking about he's going to become president, in 2023, and child. But I feel you on that, Sheba, child. Mm-mm. Kanye's biggest supporter, confidant, his rock was his mom, right? When she died, he fell victim to the industry. I agree, Kim. I agree, and I think that really destroyed him pretty much, And so, Seven says Kanye thought he could troll the Jews like he does. Yeah, right. Yeah, you're right, Seven. Now I agree. I absolutely agree. Cause he have whole temper tantrums, right? When he gets something in his mind, he feels like you've wronged him in some kind of way. He'll go to Twitter or the internet in general and start trolling folks, right? You know, we done seen it time and time again. I think he made a whole fool out of himself though. The way that he was moving about when it came to his wife and his family. I saw a post somebody had. It was going down my timeline the other day where he was holding up a sign saying something about something to the, and I'm paraphrasing, but it was something like black people was getting on him about marrying Kim Kardashian, but black people made her whole family rich. But guess what? That is absolutely right. It's because of black people that they are billionaires and millionaires, right to this day, in my opinion. That with how they then culturally appropriated a diva and straight up stole from countless black people from everywhere from makeup people to clothing designers, shoot, even hairstyles. You know what I mean? Just they culturally appropriated all of that. Hey George, how you doing, love? And so, but he's right. About that. They did, make them rich or whatever, if you will, right? If you think about it. So I agree with that. But my thing is, are you angry with the black people that pretty much trolled you about being married to the skank, the Kardashian, or and for that reason you come out here and say this raggedy stuff, like he be having whole temper tantrums. But like I said, the question that I had on the title of the video, does he now realize that freedom ain't free, right? But if it would be wonderful if he had a master plan. I don't I don't think um if he does have a master plan, I don't think he's got I don't think he has any kind of vision of the sort of thing that Russell Simmons was talking about, you know. But when it comes to, and I also want to talk about, Kanye, they love to, I think we spoke about this a little bit last night, how, anytime you find a man, or a group or even a black person that has a voice, right? Because when you have a voice in the community, you can move people, right? Now we know what happened even to somebody like what did we say last night, Tupac, right? Because they know, the government knew that he had a voice, he had the legacy behind him, and he really could move people. He could speak on, he had the wind, the winds of revolutionary wings on his back, right? So of course, what happened to Tupac had to happen to Tupac, right? And when it comes to somebody like Kanye, he's not the only black man with a voice over the decades, or even centuries that they have posted a slapped, have called them anti-Semitic, right? They called Louis Farrakhan. Louis Farrakhan came out in support of Kanye. Kanye West, was it today or yesterday or something like it? Anyway, he came out in support of Kanye West. Farrakhan did. They've forever called Farrakhan anti-Semitic. They called Malcolm X anti-Semitic. They called Martin Luther King anti-Semitic. They called Marcus Garvey anti-Semitic. Okay. So, like I said, Kanye ain't the first black man, to be called a black person, to be called anti-Semitic, and he ain't gonna be the last, right? He's just the current one, and so he getting dragged. He's getting a public lashing right now. That's what's going on with him. We know why, but he went up against that powerhouse. Anytime you speak anything derogatory about that powerhouse, or it don't even have to be derogatory, it just has to be questioning. Anytime if you even just question that powerhouse, you're gonna have to pay for that. We see what they did to the little Weasley Nick Cannon. And like I said, Kanye ain't the first person. Like I said, he ain't gonna be the last. But do you guys think that, what he's dealing with? Here's my question to you, because I know I like questions. And I'll drop the link if y'all want to talk about it. It's fine if you don't. But do you think, here's my question to you guys. Do you think that what's going on with him right now, losing all of this money and all of these endorsements and all of this, do you think that, and he's, of course, he's being vilified, do you think that it's too much? Do you think that they are overdoing it? Or do you guys think that it's justified? That's my questions to you. And that is also, that's my question to you, because that is a question that I asked myself, that I had to ask myself. Is it justified or not? Are they doing too much? Are they not doing enough? Is it justified? Because every day is something else, you know. But you have to be accountable for your words, wrong, right, or indifferent. We are all accountable for what we say. And what it is very eye opening, right? We all have to be accountable for what we say and what we do, especially if you have a voice, right? Because, like I said, he's not the first black man that they've called anti-Semitic, over the decades, even the centuries, right? Going back as far as Marcus Garvey. So we done seen it before, right? So are we even surprised? I don't think anybody's surprised, but my thing is it too much? You know, is it too much? You know, that is the question that I had. But my thing was, now there's a link if anybody wanna, come up here and speak. And if you don't, I understand. But hey, it's a conversation, you know what I mean? And I know we're not talking about, the T right now, or the B sector T or whatever, but it's a serious conversation. You really have to pay attention to what's going on. Like Seven just said, it's eye opening. And I think that if you don't know a lot about certain things that have happened to our people, if you don't know a lot about that, you will end up looking crazy and being shocked. You'll end up looking crazy like a what's her name? Like a Lizzo, right? Or some of these ignorant rappers and stuff. You'll end up looking crazy like that simply because you don't know your history. A perfect example of a melanated person knowing their history is Lupita Nyong'o. Lupita Nyong'o, she turned down a role in The Woman King, right? The Woman King is that movie. It did really well, starring Lord, but her name just went right out of my head. Starring oh, what is her name? Who was the Woman King? Oh Lord, I can't believe her name went out my head that fast. Very good movie, you know. But the thing is, I feel a better question is, hey, Food Junkie, where was the outrage when he made the anti-black comments opposed to making comments about? You're absolutely right, Food Junkie. You're absolutely right. Viola Davis, thank you. Lupita Nyong'o turned down a role in The Woman King, and the movie did very well, starring Viola Davis. But the reason why Lupita Nyong'o turned down her role in the role that they offered her in the Woman King, you said what first, Stony Burks? Now, who is this? I don't know you, but welcome, I guess. They didn't cancel Kanye. Oh, when he spoke back. Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. But the reason why she turned down that role, the Peter Youngo, gotta stop reading this chat, is because she knows the history of the Dahomey people, right? The Dahomey people played a major role when it came to the slave trade, right? So Lapita said, "No, I'm not starring in this movie because I know the history, right? The Dahomey people would help. That first they were helping the English capture Africans in order to and they sold them to the English, and the English, of course, put them on the boats and brought them, took them over to England and introduced them to the slave trade, right? Not only England, but lots of places, right? So, but when it came to when England finally outlawed slavery in the transportation of these African peoples in order to be sold, bought and sold, when England finally outlawed it, they started working with the Portuguese. Ain't that something? Even the French. So that is why Lupita Nyong'o turned down that role, because she knew that little piece of history about the Dahomey people, right? So, but then you also have to realize, and I absolutely respect her for doing it because she does know their history, right? But then you have to realize, okay, you have to ask yourself when it comes to the Dahomey people, I really don't want to all the way vilify them because they had no idea. When it comes to um, there are several countries in Africa, right? And Africans don't say that they're Africans. They go by the tribe, right? So if you're Ghanaian, if you're from Ghana, you're not African, you're Ghanaian. Or if you're Nigerian, you're not African, you're Nigerian. They went by tribe, right? And so we know that when these ancient African tribes would fight amongst themselves, they would pretty much kill off all the men, because they were in battle, and they would enslave the women and the children, right? And so they didn't see them as equal. They took them and they turned them into slaves, right? So I'm thinking that any African that helped capture other Africans and sell them to the English or the French or the Americans, they felt like they weren't selling off their own people. They felt like they were selling off, I guess, just another tribe, but of course we know it's not that way. But I'm thinking that was the thinking, that I guess that was a train of thought. But Lupita said no. I'm not going to. I don't want to have anything to do with that. You know. Now they just premiered. Um, they just premiered Wakanda Forever, Black Panther. And so we know it's coming out November the something, right? But they had the red carpet event and they premiered Black Panther, and of course Lupita is in that. And Angela Bassett. I saw some of those red carpet photos, and oh my God, everybody just looks so beautiful. And I felt bad when I started thinking about Chadwick Boseman. But everybody just looks so beautiful. I can't wait until that movie comes out. I really can't wait. My whole family going to see it. You know. So it's coming out November the 11th. I knew it was November something. Hey Donna. Donna says, they're doing too much. How can a person be crazy and still be responsible for his or her behavior at the same time? That's a great analogy, Donna. I like that. The others will more than likely use their mental illness, their mental health issues as excuses. Right. But he's not being able to. That's like I said, it's a great analogy because they're not Kanye. They wouldn't allow him to use his, not that he even tried, but they wouldn't even consider him having a mental health issue. They just, they just worrying about crucifying him right now. They're just dragging him through these streets. And so, yeah, but you're right about that, right? That's why I asked that question. You know, is he deserving of all of this, or is it too much? I'm African, Ethiopian, and the tribe comes before anything, religion, country, and race. Right. Thank you for saying that, Sunfighter, and welcome. That's what I was saying. Um. Oh, you know what, Sunfire? I'm going to do a video. And I want to do it Sunday, right? I want to do the video on the second book of Enoch, and I want to do that video. Um, speaking of the book of Enoch, but I also want to tie it into Kabbalah, and I also want to and how they many of those scripts were in ancient Ethiopic, and I found it fascinating because it's common, and I want to do that, tie all of that together, really, because of the conversation that we're having now concerning the Jewish peoples and melanated peoples. So yeah, I'm glad you popped on. I'm gonna try to do that video Sunday. I hope you'll pop over here. Water Sniper said, now different races are coming into the mainland and trying to colonize different. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. I've been doing it for centuries, still doing it now. China done swooped in trying to get the quote unquote scraps, you know. And so yeah, but you're absolutely right about that. hmm hmm So yeah, y'all. That is kind of what I was thinking about as I was reading about um this hi, how'd you do with the game, doing? Love? Well, I saw the video. Hold on a minute, y'all. My nephew just came back from this game. Hold on. Well, You full of ish. To the damn room.
Have a good night.
Close the door.
Have a good night, everybody.
Close the door, man. Close the door. Oh, Lord. Sorry about that, y'all. The madness is real. It's ever present in my home. The madness by the name of my nephew. Anyway, moving right along. Uh, oh, child, I cannot with these little people, Miss Olivia. Um, well, what was it? Sorry about that, y'all. I'm truly sorry. Lord, I done told y'all, Miss Olivia. Now I have to read to catch up for Sunday. Okay, all right, Becky. Yeah, a lot of people don't even realize that it's more than one book of Enoch. There are actually three. And I spoke on it. I said that I was gonna. I want to do content on the other two books. I mentioned that a little bit last night. There's a lot of content that I want to do. I just got to get back to doing actual content again, But yeah, I want to try to do book two uh on Sunday. But yeah, I really do. Uh-huh. It's part Kim says it's part of the course. How they tarnish all our icons. Right. Or celebrities, Whitney, Prince, MJ, Bill Cosby, and the list goes on. Yeah, you not only are entertainers, like I said, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, shoot, Marcus Garvey. The list goes on and on, just like you said. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Anybody with a voice. If you have a voice, they're going to try to stamp out your voice. Why? Because they don't want you to. They don't want you to have any type of say any. If you have a voice, they don't want you to you know say anything that could cause any type of revolution or uprising. Right? They don't want that to happen. Um, and so, yeah, that's why they just try to mute your voice, pretty much. And so, yeah, that's just how I feel about it. They try to mute you by any means necessary. But I tell you one thing: some of the stuff going on in this country right now, when it comes to black peoples, it's scary. It's a scary situation. Even our babies, it's a scary situation. And it's so unfortunate. But this Kanye West situation, in my opinion, it's a perfect example of how they will try to silence you, right? But you can't be complicit. You can't be complicit in the silencing of your own self. And and Kanye, oh Lord, it's just so unfortunate. The whole thing, you know. But he has the ability to really make a difference, right? And so when I mentioned that Russell Simmons little Instagram, I think it was the post, it was so powerful that really struck me because I'm like, you know what? I wish he could be the man that could do that sort of thing. I wish Kanye could be that guy. That's right. They don't want us to think. They don't even want us to have an inkling, have any idea, have just don't even want you to have a little uh uh uh, uh tomato seed of true entrepreneurship or true revolution or the uplifting of your people. They don't want you to even have a, like I said, tomato seed of hope when it comes to your own community. And like I said, this is a perfect example of that, because if they didn't get him now, they would have got him later. you know that are actually, I'm sure some of them been sitting back and thinking, dang, after he got himself together, he started to build his empire, and we could have slapped this on the world and really made an example out of that N word. You know what I mean? But pretty much he popped himself because he need to say less. Because he need to say less. Boy, I tell you, it's something else. But people really need to be paying attention to this situation. It's very interesting to me. And so yeah. They act like the man that went out and killed somebody, you know. And he ain't near he ain't done half as much as some of these other folks done. But this is what's happening to them. You gotta really pay attention to what's going on. hmm You would think we would realize our importance and potential, um, and potential our divine birthright. Absolutely. Because they work hard to keep us suppressed. Absolutely. Divided and downtrodden. That's right. Because they know we are the child. Absolutely. If they want to keep you poor, like I said, they want to keep you incarcerated, or they just want you dead. You know, those are the goals that the system has for you and me, in my opinion. All of us, in my opinion. And so, yeah, you can see that on a day to day basis. We all know it to be true, you know. But like I said, I wish he could be the type of man that could envision and implement, actually do, what he had to do to rebuild in his own community with his own people, right? That would be wonderful to see, you know. And if they try to destroy it, bomb it, or whatever, or even try to, you have to be, you would have to build a team that is truly loyal to you, you know, that can't be compromised, in order to pull off something like that. Or you will start to have dissension and rakes, and they'll destroy your dream from the inside, you know. And so, but yeah, I just wish you could be that guy. He could really stick it to him. I would get my whole life behind it. I was like, yeah, he crazy, but what if he was crazy like a fox? That's how I felt about it. But you're right, Kim. Kim, I agree with that. But anyway, y'all, I am going to get off of here. And thank you guys so much for coming in and listening to just a little bit of what I was thinking about. Y'all know I got questions and and my own theories when it comes to certain things. But this Kanye West, I hope that a lot of melanated people are watching what's going on right now. I really do. Because like I said, a lot of us don't know anything about our past, and so yeah. So yeah. You don't know anything about your past, or you think you don't care, about your people's history. That's what I mean by the past, your people's history, especially as it pertains to this United States of America. You welcome, Jane. You think you don't want to know, you think you don't care to know, but in actuality you need to know, right? Because you could be subject to this type of public lashing, you know, not on such a grand scale, but like in your own community, at your own, place of business, in your own place of work, within your own career. It doesn't have to be on the level of a Kanye West, at all. The things like this happen to us every day, you know. Mm, that's deep. That's deep. Ye sacrificed his lineage for clout, popularity, and money. Black born Americans have to deal with all of the black and brown coalitions and them folks, um, and others. We don't have time to forget. That's deep. Wow, wow, wow. I feel like he compromised his integrity. That's what I feel like, honestly. I really do. Yep. But he still got a voice. Instead of him hollering, I'm going to be the president in 2023 and all of this here and all of that old nonsensical nonsense. Instead of him, saying that, he need to be talking about winds of change, actual change. I wish he could implement what Russell Simmons suggested to him. That is power, And so, yeah, we need to keep Kanye in prayer. He's in bondage. Yeah, his mind and his spirit absolutely is under severe attack. It's really not a joke, Sheba. You're right about that because child, that thing he married, no ma'am. I mean, he was already, you know, discombobulated because of what happened with his mom, and then you gonna get somebody like that to handle him. James Baldwin said it best, right? In a debate of YT. I know, I know of you. Debate, debate. Oh wow. Food Junkie said, I talked about the parallel between Ye and the B. Say, did you, food junkie? I'm gonna have to go listen. I had no idea, love. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to go listen. You talked about it yesterday. Oh wow. I'm absolutely gonna listen to that video. Dang, I wish I would have listened to it before I started this video so I could ask you some questions. Like how are you what are the parallels in your opinion, Food Junkie? Food Junkie, you want to hit the link or do you have time to type it in the chat? You don't even have to hit the link, but I would really like to know what the parallels are in your opinion. If you got time, sir. That's awesome. I understand he's in bondage, yeah, but we can't sacrifice the entire community. No, you can't. No, you can't. No, you can't. You cannot. That president talk is proof he's not under wise counsel. Yes, it's just so. It's absolutely draining, Sheba. Hey, J. True. It's that. It's the. You know, you will think he's coming out of a thing, and then he'll start on. Oh, you just it's a lot. So but I agree with you. It's just so. Oof. Okay, food junkie. It's exhausting when he starts with all of that. Hold on, let me paste it. Hold on 1 second here. Try to paste this link. Here, here you go, food junkie. I just dropped it. It is freaking awesome. Very interesting. I didn't even know that. Wow. But yeah, he's got so much potential even now because the black community, if we keep it in a buck, excuse me, Miss O. Hello. Oh, no problem. Thanks for dropping down. I dropped the link, food junkie. Thanks for dropping down. Connie. James Baldwin spoke of savage. What did he say? To be black in America and not be under I'm paraphrasing, a constant state of rage. You know, it's pretty much, to be black in America is to be in a constant state of rage. Absolutely. Now I'm paraphrasing y'all, but yeah, yeah. I love me some James Baldwin. They try to crucify Baldwin. They try to crucify Hughes. Like anybody black with a voice. They're gonna try to take you down through it, especially if they got secrets on you. Is to be in a constant state of rage. Thank you, Connie. Is to be in a constant state of rage. Absolutely. Yeah. It's deep when you think about it. And it's also sad and depressing, you know. And so yeah. I'm waiting for Food Junkie to hit this link, y'all. Mm-hmm. Hey, Dot Baby 4400. Hi, everybody that's popped in popped in the live. Thank you guys so much. But I know this is not a typical beef sector type of live, but I really want to talk about this. It's important. It's important for us to realize what's going on a whole lot of levels. Exactly. He can't sacrifice the community, and the community shouldn't sacrifice Kanye. I agree with that too, Sheba. Absolutely. Absolutely. Like I said, when it comes to the community, of course you got your gatekeepers and your and people like Charlemagne the God, and some in the in the entertainment, even places in so called quote unquote power. Of course they're gonna come speak out against them because they know that is what they have to do. Because they don't want to be done that way. And so I'm not surprised when they're coming out, they're speaking out against them and all, because that's what they're supposed to do. They know they better. They know they better do that. So yeah, yeah. But that doesn't mean we have to do it because he wasn't the child. Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people are hurt. Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, you can see the potential, in him, and it's real hurtful to me. Um, when you hear about him doing or saying something like this. You know, And this ain't the first time, and I'm sure it won't be the last. So yeah, it's unfortunate. Gotcha. I got you, sir. Do you want to stay on camera? Okay. Hey, food junkie.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can because I had a delay backstage, so I want to make sure I can be heard. Basically, I'm at work, but what I said, my parallel was the rise and fall of power.
Mm-hmm.
How if you like he was doing saying the right things to get in power was that as soon as he said one wrong thing, he lost all that power because he
Mm-hmm.
offended the wrong person. That's why initially when I wrote in your chat, where was the outrage when he did all the anti-black comments? Because there
Yeah.
was no outrage there. And I asked the question yesterday in my video was really what is anti-Semitic? Because I don't know what that means. And so I looked it up yesterday. And basically,
Mm-hmm.
looking it up, the definition of it is hatred or prejudice against the Jewish people.
Mm-hmm.
And what he said, I didn't hear hatred or prejudice there. I heard his
Yeah, no,
opinion.
no, I didn't either. I didn't either. You're right. Mm-hmm.
So I know people may not like that well it's not, but my thing is, but the parallel is here on the beef sector was that we have all these people popping up with this little perceived power. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I compared
Mm-hmm.
it to VS because VS had that perceived power until she's no longer here.
Mm-hmm.
And now
Mm-hmm.
everyone else is trying to pop up to be VS. So we have
Mm-hmm.
these
Mm-hmm.
people now, these new people, or these people who's been in the wings waiting for the opportunity to
Mm-hmm.
show up, not realizing that that power is fleeting. The power
Mm-hmm.
is an illusion. Like
Mm-hmm.
his perceived power is an illusion.
Mm-hmm.
You can't think that you're gonna be flying high. Like I said, he's been flying high for about 15 years now, 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
sorry, not sorry. I never followed Kanye. I stopped
Mm-hmm.
following Kanye or listening to Kanye's music after the college dropout too, because when he didn't get nominated for an award, he threw a tantrum. So I saw all this
Mm-hmm.
coming way back then. And his
Mm-hmm.
excuse was he do it for the love of the music. And my thing is, if you do it for the love of the music, accolades doesn't matter to you because you're doing what you're
Mm-hmm.
supposed to do, like Chance the Rapper. He's doing it for the love
Mm-hmm.
of the music. And his
Mm-hmm.
actions and everything he does is doing that and showing that.
Yep.
For me, Chance the Rapper is more of a community activist than Kanye is. Kanye is just somebody,
Mm-hmm.
to me, is a spoiled rich black person
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah. I
won
can
his
see
way.
that. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. It seems like he got a lot of self hate, you know?
Yeah, and like, let's say, I mean, he don't love anyone. He's anti everybody because he's anti himself. He doesn't love
Yeah,
black
he
people. He
do.
don't love white people. He don't love Jewish people. He don't love anybody but him,
Yeah.
but because he don't love himself. And until people
Mm,
realize that, and y'all say it's a mental disorder, it's not mental disorder. It's just a
mm,
self-hating,
mm,
self-deprecating situation for him. And
mm,
everyone is saying, "Oh well, because he lost his mom, he lost it." No, she just kept him tethered to the real world
mm. Oh, it's deep.
because even she said he was delusional. Even
Mm,
she
mm,
said she had to keep him grounded because he had
mm,
this sense of he's better than, he's more than, he deserved more.
mm. I didn't realize that. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So when his mom said that, I'm like, well, my um feelings about him isn't wrong. It can't be wrong if his own mom said that she had to tether him to the real world because he
Mm,
was. I mean, being artistic is one thing. I'm artistic. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
I'm very artsy. I see things where things aren't there, but I'm also still tether myself to the real world. I know
mm,
that no one's obligated to like what I do. No one's
mm,
obligated to
mm,
attaboy me. You know what I'm saying?
mm.
I have
Yeah.
to have the
Yeah.
strength within myself to attaboy myself.
Mm-hmm.
When I do a
Mm-hmm.
good project, well, it's not, I need to be like, I'm happy with that project. I don't need someone telling me outside of me that it's okay. If everyone likes it, that's fine. If you don't
Yeah.
like it, it's not fine. That's why even on here, I don't care if I get 1,000 people in our chat or 1,000 views on a video. I can get
Right.
2 views on a video as long as I say what I need to say.
Mm-hmm. 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 Right. You're
So,
absolutely right. And I absolutely agree, food junkie, and that is a great parallel because you're absolutely right about that. Um, but I think that sometimes a lot of people fall like black girl down here saying this his ego is running him, and we know that when it comes to pride and ego,
and
um,
hubris.
pride and ego and hubris, right? That took down, that even happened. That is the problem with uh Satan when it came to him in heaven wanting to
Right.
usurp God. That pride and that ego,
Right.
it'll get you every time.
Exactly.
That's why it's a sin. You have to
Hmm.
watch out for that. But yeah, you're right about that. And I didn't know that his mom had said she had to she had to tether him, to the world,
Right.
because of his fanciful notions, if you will.
Exactly. But and think about it. Kanye been doing documentaries on himself before he was famous.
Yeah.
If 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 you watch his documentaries, what that he done on himself, like the one on Netflix, that
Mm,
was done before anyone knew who Kanye was.
mm,
And and
mm,
and
mm,
and it's one thing to know that you're going to be someone in your life or in the world.
mm,
There's one thing to know that, because I know
mm,
that where I'm at right now is nowhere close to where I'm going to be in the future.
mm. Right, right.
But at the same time, I'm not so egotistical that I
Mm-hmm,
am, what I'm saying,
mm-hmm.
doing that. Like, I mean, granted, this
Egotistical and narcissistic.
right.
Mm-hmm,
And that's what his issue is. Like, I mean, like people have been following him around with cameras for years before he even
mm-hmm,
became Kanye West. Before he started making beats, they was
mm-hmm,
following him around in Brooklyn.
mm-hmm,
Because my thing is, all these videos that he been doing it since he started music. Since before the car accident, he been doing having people videotape him was not. And
mm,
that's fine to say you have self esteem and you have confidence in yourself. That's good. But at the same time,
mm.
at what point are you going to realize that it's become narcissistic almost? You know what I'm saying?
Right. And annoying and obnoxious and
Right.
you know,
So
you
that's why
know,
my thing is, I don't feel sorry for him. Like whatever he gets, he gets.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Because like you just said, whatever he did it to himself.
Yeah, you have to take accountability for it. It came out of his mouth.
Right.
And
And
so
his
it's
actions
very
over the past several
inflammatory.
years.
Mm-hmm. Yep, he does. He throws whole temper tantrums.
Yeah.
And
And he been doing it.
as an adult, you have to be accountable for that.
Right. So like I mean, like I said, when he didn't win awards or wasn't even nominated for his first album, he threw
Mm-hmm.
a huge hissy fit. If y'all remember that, he threw a huge
Mm-hmm.
hissy fit. Oh, why don't y'all respect me? I do this and that other. I'm so talented. I'm this and that. Hold up, you're a freshman here. Calm down, relax. We don't know you like that. Your music was hot, yeah. The album was hot, yes. Color Dropout 2 was hot, yes. But come on, relax. There's plenty of hot albums out here was not, but you're not guaranteed anything if you say you do it for the love for the music. No. So after that, I was like, I'm done with you because I saw who you were then.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep,
You
you're
know.
right.
But yeah,
Yeah.
that's all I want to say. But yeah, it's the video with me in the car on my way to work. That's the video that I
No, I'm
compared to two.
no, I'm gonna go back and listen to it because I had no idea. But that's wow. That's really deep. I'm glad you tied it together like that. And I hope. I wish that. Um. Let's take it. As far as some people around here, right? I think that some folks around here are so invested into this little area right here.
Mm-hmm.
Some folks really perceive themselves as having some type of power. You
Right.
know, you got a lot of people um that blow up their heads and stuff. But they don't. What they don't realize is they blowing your head up because they like to see you go off and act a fool.
Right. And
They're
that's what I
not
also
doing it.
say. Sorry,
Hmm.
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
But that's what I always say. Don't allow people to build you up because you give them the power to bring you down.
Hmm.
And
Yep,
that's what
yep,
he did. And that's what they
yep.
do on here as well.
That's what you did, and that's what they do on here as well. You're absolutely right. And like I was speaking earlier, I didn't know if you heard it or not. He did a couple of other interviews, and they went other interviews because he was speaking the same way. And one of those interviews was with the basketball player LeBron James. He's
Okay,
got a
yeah,
show
the
on
barber shop,
HBO.
yeah, the barber shop, the shop, something like that.
They wouldn't even air the interview, and he did one somewhere else. They wouldn't air the interview, but they did it on that Drink Champs on that Revolt TV.
Right.
They did it over there though.
But they also took that down as well
Yeah,
because
they
I was
took it down,
actually
but yeah, but by that time, on the internet.
it was too
See, that's
late.
the thing. When it's on the internet, as long as
Hmm.
somebody can be quick enough to download it, it's there forever.
Right. Right.
So in this day and age. But like I said, I didn't even know until I did a little reading that he had said that, like I said, I don't know if you heard it when he made that comment on TMZ about slavery being a choice.
Oh
They say
yeah.
he
Yes,
also
sir.
made a very anti-Semitic comments when he was doing that interview, but they edited that part out. And I was questioning why, and the reason is so they can hold it over his head.
Later
But he
on.
been
Right.
pretty much popped himself.
Right. Right.
So yeah, it's crazy.
It
But I
is. But
absolutely
the thing
agree
is,
with you.
when you realize that no one's like really no one is there for you, and that's just in
Hmm.
general. And that's I'm not
Hmm.
saying that you don't trust anybody with that, but realize that the only person that needs to protect you is yourself.
Hmm.
And that goes for family, friends, loved ones, husbands, wives, what children, whatever. We all
Hmm.
are here for ourselves. Because really, when the push comes to shove, we may die for people while it's not. But the reality is, all person we have to count on is ourselves because we can't really trust anyone else to have our back, no matter how
Yeah.
much we love them and how much they love us.
Cannot trust them. You can't trust them in general. You know,
Right.
especially when it comes to places of power. Be it
Exactly.
entertainment, politics, or anywhere else.
Exactly.
Especially when it comes to those circles, because that's real cutthroat. You
Oh
know,
yeah. Yeah.
that's real cutthroat.
And
So
when you
you can't
having
trust nobody.
millions and billions of dollars involved, people do
Mm-hmm.
anything for usually what they do on here for change. So imagine when
Mm-hmm.
there's millions of dollars involved,
Yep.
millions of
Yep.
dollars.
Yep. Yep.
You know.
Yep.
So
Cut your legs off at the knees, honey, and keep it
exactly.
pushing.
You see how they do it for quarters and dimes and nickels on this little raggedy thing.
Yep, you're absolutely right, food junkie. I absolutely agree. Mm-hmm. Mm-mm-mm. Well, honey, thank you so much for talking to me.
No problem.
I
Thank you
know
for
you're
having
at
me. Let me
work.
get back on my job, so I have to be on here begging for money.
Don't you get the shade of it all. The shade of it. The
Bye,
shade
baby.
of it all. Bye, food junkie. Have a good
Have a good one.
weekend.
You too, baby. You
All
too.
right. All right. But if y'all haven't, I'm going to watch that video on Food Junkie's channel. And I hope you guys will too. I didn't know he had made that video, but I sure want to go listen for myself. Hey, Freddy Krueger. Hmm. But like I said, y'all, he's absolutely right. At the end of the day, that pride and that ego, it's gonna get you every time, you know. And so, like we see it on a daily basis over here, just like you said. And so, yeah, yeah, like he had to take accountability, for doing it to himself. Um, he had to take accountability for popping himself, you know. And if you've garnered that much generational wealth, like why you just want to just just I don't know, throw it all away. I don't know. I don't know about that dude. But anyway, I'm about to get out of here. You guys have a wonderful rest of your night. Thanks for joining me. Thank you so much, Food Junkie, for coming up. Thank you guys for being so um interactive in the chat. I loved all you guys' comments. As Food Junkie was talking, I was trying to um go back and read some of the comments, and I agree with a lot of them. So, like I said, thank you guys. I truly believe Kanye took it over to get in. Um, mm, yeah, 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 yeah. I agree with you, Sheila. Hmm. You too, Joyce. Thank you so much for popping over, love. I sure do appreciate you. Like I said, I appreciate. I can't really get it out. All you guys. And if you didn't see that video from last night, go back and look at it. Be part of the replay gang over here. And thank you guys so much for listening to this type of commentary. I realize it's been a while, but there are so many lessons here, in my opinion. You know, because a lot of people, a lot of melanated people in this country in particular, um, they really are under the mindset of, we live in a post-racist America, and that is just not the truth. And so, and this was a perfect example of it. And I just, I just need to talk about it because, like I said, it's a perfect example of us watching the system, publicly lash, a melanated person in real time. So yeah, bye, Miss Olivia. You have a wonderful weekend. Too, Bacon. So that's all I got. I'm gonna talk to you guys later. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to come back Sunday. Um, and give my pretty much my overview of the second book of Enoch, as well as I want to talk about Kabbalah. If you don't know what it is, um, it's pretty much a Jewish mysticism that coupled with what else I said? I want to talk about Kabbalah. I want to talk about the second book of Enoch, and it was something else. It's just slipping my mind right now. It's been a long day, child. But anyway, I'm hoping to come back. Um, hoping to come back on Sunday and talk about that. I'm not going to promise to come back because stuff happens. And it is the weekend. But anyway, that's all I got. Talk to you guys later. Please hit the like button on your way out the door. Thank you guys so much. And be safe. Peace. Love y'all.